are in front of the registration area at the Rio Las Vegas. Now back in its heyday, this used to be a very well-respected hotel and very popular. And we haven't stayed here in probably 5, 6, 7 years. So I've heard a lot about this place going downhill in the last few years. But we need to see it for ourselves to get that full effect and see if we can recommend this hotel to you. So we are sleeping here. We are going to check out the pool. We're going to eat at least at one restaurant, take you around the property so you can see it for yourself. We're also going to give you an update on the construction and renovation project as there are new owners of this property. Stay tuned to the end because we are going to tell you whether or not you should come out to Rio or not. There are a few places that are open for breakfast at Rio, but the one that's closest to the Ipanema Tower where we're staying is the American Bar and Grill. And now this place is more known for lunch and dinner, but they do have a small breakfast menu. So I ordered an all-American breakfast. This is $18.99 and it comes with 2 eggs. I got mine over medium, a choice of bacon or sausage, and breakfast potatoes and toast. So I'm looking at these breakfast potatoes and they kind of look yummy. They're pretty yummy. I prefer hash browns personally, but they will do. The eggs I'm not going to try on camera for you, but I will try a piece of bacon. The bacon looks like really well cooked. Bacon's really good. Might be a little bit of maple bacon. Now, Enrique ordered himself a breakfast sandwich. That was $17.99. Basically comes with eggs, bacon, cheese, and he also has hash browns or the breakfast potatoes on the side as well. So one thing that I noticed when I was online and looking at the different restaurants that they have available, they actually do have quite a few restaurants, but there are a few here that are not open every single day. They're only open on the weekends. Like Voodoo Steak is their steakhouse. It's only open on Friday and Saturday nights. Guy Fieri has a Mexican restaurant here. It's only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And then you have Hash House Ogogo, which we have been to before. Great breakfast if you're wanting big portions. But they are only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday morning. So not everything is going to be open every day of the week. So you want to go onto their website and check the hours if you're staying here to make sure that your place of choice is open. But let's go have a look at the restaurants. Because we had listened to the rumors and heard that so much of the Rio was just shuttered up and there was nothing available, we were very surprised to find so many restaurants that were open and available. They were not shuttered, and actually a lot of these looked very decent. So I would say do not pay attention to the rumors and think that you're not going to find food. As I mentioned before, there are places that are not open every day of the week, but you will find some that are, and actually the majority of them are open every day of the week. But as I mentioned, be sure to check the schedule just in case things change. There are several bars that are available at the Rio, and while we filmed this in the morning and there obviously wasn't a lot of people having drinks in the morning, when we walked through at night, they were actually pretty full. Now this isn't a place where you're going to find a lot of people dancing and music going, but there are bars available nonetheless. When you walk into your room at the Rio, you'll come in and to the left there's this large area with a big countertop, mirror, and its own sink with a closet right across from it. And that's where you'll find your safe and ironing board, and there's full-length mirrors on the closet doors. And then just beyond that, there's another door that leads into the bathroom part of it. So toilet, another sink, and your shower tub combination. And then leaving the bathroom area, you come out into this pretty large room. So these are all suites here at Rio. And so they're all 550 square feet or more. So that massive size is really noticed along with the full-size or floor-to-ceiling windows. But I think that the large size is probably the extent of the niceness of this room. So this hotel was built in 1990, and I think this room hasn't been touched since 1990. All the furniture is quite old. It's very, very worn out. There's a lot of noticeable stains on the furniture and a ton of stains on the carpet. I think Enrique went around and just saw a ton of stains. He's been inspecting this room. He did check the bedding and the towels and checked for stains, smelled everything, and the bedding at least seemed clean. But the one funky thing about the bed is that the pillows are tiny. I have never ever seen such tiny pillows in a hotel in my life. So there is a desk area, which is actually kind of nice. They have a TV that is tiny and it's inside of a cabinet that is not really viewable if you're just laying in bed. So it's kind of a funky place to have the TV. One positive thing though is that there is a mini fridge that is empty, so you can use that to put your stuff in it. Yeah, so overall, like, I mean, you can't really pinpoint one thing that stands out as being incredibly gross about this room, but just looking at the lampshades, there's like, rips in them and just stains everywhere, and I don't know, it's just like not one thing, it's just a culmination of a lot of little things that you just don't feel like you're in a very clean room. Also, when you're walking in from the entryway into the bedroom area, like the transition between the tile and the carpet, like they just duct taped it to keep it together. And then also in the carpet, you can see where some of the seams are coming apart. It just needs to be ripped out completely. It's just really bad. So I think if you're gonna stay here, you have to be able to look past this room, and it's really kind of hard to do that. Anyway, that's the room tour here in the Ipanema Tower in the Rio. In 2019, Dreamscape bought the Rio from Caesars Properties, but Caesars actually has been operating this hotel since that time. Now, in October of 2023, Dreamscape is taking over, and they are set to invest $350 million into renovation of this property. So it's really exciting. They're going to start with the Ipanema Tower and get those rooms underway. And we've seen some renderings. It looks like it's going to be pretty nice. Behind me, this is the old Carnival World Buffet. This used to be the buffet back in the days, but they are actually going to transition this into a food hall. They'll also be working on the rooms in the masquerade section, and then overall just the restaurants and common areas too. This is going to be a phased approach. It's not all going to be done at once. They're not going to close the hotel, so it'll be open during construction. It's going to take several years for this to get done, and one of the cool things is that the original owner and developer of the Rio is coming back onto this project as the architect. So I'm really curious to see about what they do with the whole theme of this property. It was built as a Carnival theme, and it had a really fun and vibrant nightlife and just overall atmosphere. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep that or change it, but bringing him back on, I think will bring back sort of the glory days of the Rio. There are 4 pools here at Rio, although right now 3 of them happen to be closed. It is September, mid-September, so kind of getting it towards the latter end of the season. And honestly, the one pool that is open is spacious enough for the people that are out here anyway. But coming out into this deck space, it's super large. This was the place to be in the late 90s. Such a great pool area, and it still looks good today. It's pretty well maintained as far as the deck space and the pools themselves. We were kind of walking around just checking for sort of cleanliness. The one thing that you might see behind me is there are some lounge chairs that are kind of put around the pool, and that might not be very attractive, but I think they're just doing it to block off the pool because it is closed. However, if you look at the actual lounge chairs themselves, you can definitely tell they do need to be replaced, so hopefully that's something that the new owners will take care of. But overall, it's still a good pool space. Because this hotel is themed as Carnival, Rio went all out back in the day, and they had a parade that would go through periodically, and this parade was pretty fun. They had some floats that would come across on the ceiling. There's still tracks that are on the ceiling to this day. And the floats would come by, there would be dancers on there. They would throw beads out. And then the stage behind me would have dancers, and they'd kind of go up and down the stairs. And then on the second floor balcony throughout this whole Masquerade Village area, there'd be more dancers. And they'd just throw beads, and it was like music, fun. It was such a good time and such great memories. I'll be interested to see if they try to bring that back and revive something like that in the future renovations. A big highlight of the Rio is the Penn and Teller show. These guys are a staple here. They've been playing at the Rio since 2001, and it's still a big attraction here in Las Vegas. And they're not going anywhere, even with the new ownership, because they just extended their contract until 2026, so you can still catch them at the Rio. Their other shows here at the Rio include Chippendales, and there's also a variety show called Wow, and there is a comedy cellar here. So there are a few options if you're looking for some entertainment at the Rio. So there's sort of two parts to the casino at the Rio. We're in the Masquerade Village area. So this part of the hotel was constructed later. It was constructed in 1997. So when they constructed this, they added the high ceilings. It's very open and large. It feels just more massive, I guess you can say. One of the cool things about this area, though, is that we found a lot of old nostalgic slot machines that we haven't seen in quite a few years. So it was kind of fun coming around and playing some of those older machines. Now, the other side of the casino is the Ipanema core area, and that is the older area. The hotel originally was constructed in 1990, but it has sort of lower ceilings. It feels a little darker, but that's where you're gonna find a lot of the newer machines. So kind of stay in that area for the newer machines, here for the older machines, but overall it's just a massive casino area. You'll find a lot of slots and tables, high limit, a little of everything. At the far end of the Masquerade Village area, you will find Kiss World. And so if you come inside here, there's an arcade area. They have like skee ball, video games, air hockey, and there's the Gene Simmons Museum. Also, they have a miniature golf set, and like it's 18 holes, and it's sort of like lit up in fluorescent neon lights. It's really cool. It's indoors too, which, so if it's hot, makes a big difference, right? But anyhow, the museum is $12.95, the golf is $12.95, but if you package two together, it's only $20. So it might be a fun way to spend an hour or two while here in Vegas. Now upstairs on the second floor, there's also the Rock and Roll Chapel that is also Kiss themed. So if you're planning a wedding here, maybe you want to renew your vows, that could be a fun place to do it if you are into Kiss. The Rio actually has a pretty large conference center. I actually myself attended a conference here years ago. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that this is where you would have found the World Series of Poker from 2005 until 2021. And these rooms along me here were filled with poker players in them. So now it's since moved to Bally's in Paris, but this has a lot of history here. It is time to give you our final thoughts on the Rio Las Vegas. So first of all, let's talk about the BS that we've heard. We have heard that it's dead in here, things are shuttered, that it's not safe, that it's not clean as far as all the casino is concerned, and I'll just say that those reports are wrong. Now, we're here on a weekend, so maybe it's a little bit different, like on a Tuesday afternoon or something, but there are a lot of people in here. The registration line is very busy. We were out in the casino floor from like midnight to 2 a.m. yesterday, and we did not feel unsafe at any time. Of course, you're always gonna have drunk people in Las Vegas, and that could be at any casino anywhere, so it's not specific to the Rio. There are plenty of restaurants to choose from. There are some really nice looking restaurants as well. So it's not like you're going to come here and find all the restaurants shuttered up and not opened. They also have good entertainment with Penn and Teller, Chippendales, the pool area is fine, the casino is fine. This is not the rundown place that we had heard in the rumors that going around in other people's videos. But we actually stayed the night here. We spent time here exploring the property and, you know, really getting to get a feel for what it's like to stay here. So that being said, I do want to talk about the cons. Now, first of all, you know that this is not on the Strip. This is a little far away from the Strip, and there is no shuttle that goes back and forth. So you're gonna have to find your way around to get to the Strip or downtown. And I would say that the biggest con of this property, and this could be a deal breaker for most people, is the room. So let's talk about the cleanliness. Enrique has a total bionic nose, and so he smelled the sheets, he smelled the bedding, he smelled the towels. He said everything smelled very clean. But I think that's about the extent of the real cleanliness of the room. It's like they focus their time on the bedding. There's stains on the carpet. There's a lot of wear and tear in the furniture. It just feels like they didn't focus on scrubbing some of the areas. Like they just focus on making sure the bed's clean, the linens are clean, and kind of that's it. And that's going to be a really big deal breaker for some because you just don't feel like you're in a really sanitary type of room. But I will say, if you are on an extremely tight budget and you're coming here midweek, pay $10 or $20 to get into a room, and you can look past that. It could be a place for you to stay. So those are our thoughts overall. I think we will probably not stay here again until the renovations are further along, but to come here for a day and visit like the Kiss Museum and play some miniature golf or see a show, Penn and Teller, Chippendales, I think you can come here during the daytime and experience that. I just wouldn't necessarily want to sleep here until renovations are done on the rooms. So that is all we have for you. Be sure to check out this videos for more fun information on Las Vegas, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.